I have never spoken numbers. I have never said, oh, this is where I think we should do, and itna karegi and utna karegi. I had the loveliest compliment paid to me by one of the journalists where they said, this film connected the way it did because a woman was telling the story. I remember someone saying that, Border didn't have VFX and this has too much VFX. Yeah, but Border didn't have the Navy. It's not possible to go and blow up a ship in real time, So Sunny Deol equals patriotism. India just seems like a safer place with him guarding us. The guy refused to wear a helmet.
Yeah.
I mean, he was standing in front of all the bullets and all the action that was taking place. I'm going to share this. I didn't think I would, but I will. He was weeping at certain points that I didn't think he would weep at. Border 3 is something, to be very honest, as much as people will not believe it, but it's not something we've just decided. This was actually sworn in and written in and decided on about 2 years ago with Bhushanji. So that was actually already on the cards. Hi, this is Nidhi Datta and you're watching me on Midday.
Welcome to Midday. This is Atulya, and today we are in conversation with the producer of Border 2 and the writer as well, Nidhi Datta.
Hi.
Welcome to Midday.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing, first of all?
Good, very good, very relieved, very happy, very good.
So, how has the success of the film been? Like, how are you processing it?
I think I'm still to process it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling relief for sure. Relief that I have been able to live up to the expectations of every Indian world over, for whom I think Border is a very personal emotion, and I'm so happy that they've accepted it so happily with open arms. I'm looking at reactions coming in from all over the country, all over the world, and I'm seeing the same reactions that I used to hear about when my parents used to speak when Border had released. So I'm so happy that I've been able to do that, and I've had the best team with me who's helped me achieve that dream, helped me sustain the legacy a certain way. So yes, I'm very happy, very relieved, but I'm still to process that this has actually happened in this way. Yeah.
But did you expect to somewhere like, ballpark that this kind of numbers and this kind of reception, acceptance from the audience?
I never thought of numbers.
Yeah.
I think I was the only one, and you can ask everyone in the team. I have never spoken numbers. I have never said, oh, this is where I think we should do, and itna karegi and utna karegi. Again, because I've never learned that. My father's never taught me that. He's never thought like that. If he had thought like that, he wouldn't make a film called LOC Kargil, which was 4 hours long and made us miss shows in so many theaters because of the length of the film. But he was very clear that this is the story I'm going to tell. I will not cut out even one person from my forces, and so there was a certain intention with which he makes these movies, and I'm glad that I have been able to retain that intention, because my intention of making the film was like that. So no, numbers was never what I was looking at. Acceptance is what I was looking at. Love is what I was looking at. I wanted people to feel the emotion of the film, and I think, touch wood, that's happened to a great level.
You mentioned runtime, because when you hear today like a movie is running longer than 3 hours, it's been 30 years since like Border came, and times have changed. People's attention span, we keep talking about attention span, has been reduced. So was that a concern for you? Like,
not at all. Not at all. I think I'm the worst person to ask this question to, because like I said, my dad has made a film called LOC, which is 4 hours long, and he had an edited version on his table of 5.5 hours. So, I'm the wrong person to ask this question to. I've never looked at length. I think that once the film is on screen, if you're living the story, you want to see, each character arc end a certain way, and you're ready to give that time if you love what you're watching. You know? So I don't think that. I think this is a myth.
Yeah. And also with this film, you also got into writing. What was that process? What was that choice you made that you also get into writing? Because it relies a lot on the story. Because I was engrossed in the first half, especially when you were going through every character's backstory, and I had an emotional connect with them by the end of it. So I want to know, like.
So it was never a decision that I made. I've never written anything before this. So the film came about because the late CDS, General Bipin Rawat, who was the Chief of Defence Staff, he had met Dad and me during the making of Paltan, and then he was Chief of Army, and then he met us when he was CDS, and he had told us about 21, 22 stories from the forces that he really thought should be made into films. And at that point, I remember Dad saying, "Sir, I'm 71 years old. मैं कहाँ बनाऊंगा ये सब?" And he said, "आप फिक्र मत करो, दत्ता साहब ये बना लेगी." And I think he kind of just spoke my destiny at that point,
Yeah.
because we lost him 3 months later, of course, to that helicopter crash, unfortunately. But it was like a responsibility that this had to be done. So when I revisited what needs to be done, and with dad kind of taking semi-retirement, I said, from actively making movies, I knew that, the company had to
Yeah.
move forward. And I came across these stories, and I was like, okay, these are the stories I want to tell. They are from 71, which I did not know.
Yeah.
I also did not know something that which most of us don't know, which is that the 71 war was the first time that the three forces fought together.
Yeah.
Before that, it was never all three forces. So it was a very important part of our history that has gone unnoticed.
Yeah.
And if I didn't know, though, definitely I knew others would not know. I'm so close to the forces, grown up in that atmosphere, but I did not know this reality. Also, I think to a certain level, border had kind of given us the feeling that the 1971 war was Longewala battle, and that was it.
Yeah.
So, it was important to tell this story. So when I came across the stories, and I said, okay, now I need to figure out how to get a writer on board to try and put this creatively together and bring them together. So I actually started thinking who I should get on board to write this, and I started finding out कि अच्छा so and so writer क्या कर रहा है, ये क्या कर रहा है, वो क्या कर रहा है, and then my office would come back to me, नहीं मैम वो तो वो अभी web show लिख रहे हैं, वो कर रहे हैं, वो कर रहे हैं, and I was like, oh, this is something, and it was during that 2-day process, and I was like, how difficult can this be? Let me try and see if I can put this together. And I sat one day, it was on the 22nd of January, last year actually, and I sat and I said, let me see if I can just put together a synopsis, or at least try and put them together as stories. I sat on that sofa at about 10:30 in the morning, and I got up from it at 8:15 in the night, and I had the story. So it's not something I decided. I think it's something that was preordained, and it was shown to me by the Almighty, and it happened, and it's in front of us. My father's always maintained something. He says, "वो दिखाता है तो मैं देखता हूँ और मैं बना पाता हूँ." So, and I used to always say that I haven't been blessed with that vision, but I guess the blessing came when it was meant to be. And that vision of a girl sitting alone in her living room and thinking, okay, this could happen, is in front of everyone. And I'm just happy and blessed that the right people, the right team, the right partner in Bhushanji came forth and literally carried me and my dream to this reality.
Yeah. Also, I feel like a film hits harder when you know these are like real
And thank you for
stories.
saying that you felt all the emotions.
Yeah. And because it hit hard also because these are real people, these are real stories.
Yeah.
Because usually when you watch the news and something, untoward happens on the border areas, it's presented to you as statistics and facts. Now here we know these people, their names, what they stood for, and all these things.
Yeah.
So for you to put to them together, what kind of research went through? Because it's a different era. We don't know about this era, the battlefield, recreating all of that.
So I'm just happy that with what I'm kind of just living right now. Every time I look at a reel or I look at a social media page and I see a meme or I see something where they've used the real heroes' names, they've used Hoshiar Singh's name or Seiko's name, and you just feel, okay, fine, that was 71, this is 2026. If all these people now know the heroes that have laid down their lives for our country, and they know them by first name basis now, that's victory as a maker. I had the loveliest compliment paid to me by one of the journalists about a week ago, where they said, this film connected the way it did because a woman was telling the story. So I think that also somewhere makes a difference, where friendship, which was the fact that these three forces and these three boys represented the three forces, but also represented the unity which these three forces of our country have, and without each other, we are nothing, and they stand together, they fight together, and they kind of protect us. And that was the idea behind the film and my story. And I'm so glad that the friendship has been accepted the way it has. I'm so glad that each and every person has connected with all those family members of the armed forces so beautifully, like the girls are being appreciated, those moments of the families, and it really is them, isn't it? They are the real heroes that send their husbands and sons and fathers to war for us, people they don't know. So I'm glad that all of that is being appreciated, and that the emotional aspect, maybe as a woman, could be brought to light a certain way. and it's been accepted, and I'm so
Exactly.
happy.
So, like we're talking about the film, it has been accepted after it released, but right before the release, there was like social media chatter. People were talking about the VFX, the performances, the casting, everything. Not so positive chatter. How are you dealing with that phase? Because you know you had a solid project in hand, and the noise it just went out after the release.
So
So,
honestly, the noise was not for us even during
hmm.
it happening. It was not noise. It was just it really was just noise.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that we were looking at because we were really busy trying to get the film out the best way that we could.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has been talking about the VFX.
Yeah.
Everybody has been saying, oh, you know, I remember someone saying that, you know, Border didn't have VFX and this has too much VFX. Yeah, but Border didn't have the
Oh.
Navy.
Huh.
So
Exactly.
yeah,
It's a different
you know, it's
time also.
it's not possible to go and blow up a ship
Hmm.
in real
Yeah.
time, you know. So I
Yeah.
could not have done that. I am thankful that we have VFX. I'm thankful that the film that we've made is 71, but I'm thankful that I've made it 29 years after the first one because I could tell the story a certain way. I would not have even been able to imagine the Navy as part of this if it wasn't for the technology that I have today to create that. So for me, the VFX has been a plus point. It's been able to bring the dream to reality. It's been able to create the film that we needed to tell the stories.
Yeah.
So otherwise, how do I tell you what happened in the middle of the ocean to my
Exactly.
sailors, to my captain, to that ship that was like Ahan says in the film that पानियों में इंडिया की border है हम. How do I bring that emotion to the public if I can't create it? And the technology that we have today has been able to help us create that. So for me, it was noise. I think for Bhushan ji also it was noise. We were like, okay, आप बोल लो जो बोलना है, but हमको जो बनाना है वो हमने बनाया है. हमने एक नियत से बनाया है, एक intention से, and I guess we knew that the people will resonate with that when they see it.
With this noise, because it's always going to be there because we are in the social media era.
Yeah.
So whatever we put out is an instant feedback. Will this ever?
Not only social media era, I think as films are always in the public domain.
Yeah.
People are going to say whatever they want to say, and they have the right to say whatever they want to say. So
but that never
you have to do you
creatively.
You have
or
to do you.
emotionally.
No,
Doesn't like,
no, you have
get
to do you.
Yeah, that's great. I think, and also like when we were talking about casting, I was like so surprised to see Sunny Deol in his element. I think even after all these years. It looks like he was just made to play this character and he was just there in energy and all. What is the vibe with him on the set?
The vibe with him on set is one thing, but the vibe as being my father's daughter and being on set and seeing him walk on to set for the first day in that uniform was something I will never be able to put into words. That energy, that aura when he came on to set in uniform was, oh my God, this is patriotism had just walked onto the set. That is what it is. Sunny Deol equals patriotism. India just seems like a safer place with him guarding us, no? So I'm so glad that feeling has not changed over the years, and I don't think it ever will.
Yeah. And you know, thing just remembered when I was watching the film, thing I liked it, I thought everybody will have like a heroic entry and like Dham Dhum. But it was like cleverly written scenes from everyone, especially with Varun's entry scene. The whole thing about he talking to people like subtly, like showing the power move over there.
Yeah.
Really loved it. Was that also a decision for every character? Even like Sunny Deol, he just comes in on the screen in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then with Varun also, I loved his scene. His entry scene was like very well written, very tight also.
Yeah. So obviously all of it gets inspired by the real characters, obviously, because you know, like if you'll see that most of the action you'll see that Varun isn't wearing a helmet, and this is something that we did knowingly because Hoshiar Singh refused to wear a helmet.
Oh.
And this is a reality that his son, who is also a colonel in the army, he told us this.
Okay.
So obviously, like I said, that like when you asked me earlier about the research, when these stories come to us, the first thing that my father has always done is that he sits with the families of the heroes. He sits with them, he understands from them characteristics, how they were, what they did. The second thing that we do is then we sit with their paltans, so the regiments they are from. We sit with them and we understand. Of course, the people are different because it was a different era, but they know when there's a hero from a certain battalion or a regiment, we know that okay, इनके पास तो वो information होगी कि you know ये हुआ था हमारे हीरो के साथ. तो so there are two phases of it. You sit with the families, you understand the personal aspect. Then you sit with the forces, you understand from them what they were like as when they're in uniform. you know, and then those two aspects are then brought together to create the characters that we do.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what makes all the difference, I think.
Hmm.
You know, so I'm happy that we've been able to show that kind of reality, you know. And I mean, it's a huge thing. The guy refused to wear a helmet.
Yeah.
I mean, he was standing in front of all the bullets and all the you know, all the action that was taking place, and he didn't wear a helmet. So there are all those things, and like you said, the first scene, you know, his vibe as
hit me, like, it
Hoshiar
was
Singh,
so good.
and
that
I'm
scene.
just I was in awe when I saw Varun perform it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, he just stepped into
Yeah.
character like crazy. And that also, I feel, at some level, you'll ask Varun, you'll ask Ahan, Diljit. So there's a letter that dad wrote to them on the first day of shoot, and he said to them that something that he believes, he's told me as well, because even during the casting, like, he's always said one thing. He says, we don't choose. You think you're choosing, you think you're casting, but you're not casting.
Okay.
Because the heroes that are sitting up in heaven, they choose who gets into their footsteps, who's going to be wearing their shoes and walking that path. So I think they were chosen. They were all chosen. And when I saw Varun perform the way I did, I just knew that there was nobody else who could have been Hoshiar.
Once the film came out.
Yeah. Even Diljit, I mean, even Ahan. I mean, when
It's just
they were like,
effortlessly charming,
they just embodied those characters. Even Ahan, I when I was, of course, when I wrote the story and I thought of Ahan, I never thought of him in the army character. Somehow I knew that the Navy had to be Ahan. There was a certain, of course, I've known him all my life. He's my younger brother in every part of the way. But I knew that there was a certain gait about him that was very similar to a naval officer. There's a certain body language that he has, which is very similar to the naval officers. If you ever meet any of them, you'll see the difference. And trust me, if you really have that vibe, if an army, navy, and an air force officer walk into the room, you'll know where they are from. You know, like there's completely different. Like my chacha, when he used to wear his G suit and walk into a room, and I've seen videos and photos, and his whole body language was completely different from a naval officer or an army officer. You know, so I'm so glad that they've all fit into their parts and embodied it the way they have. And of course, Sunny Sir is Sunny Sir.
That is just, he's made to play this. And what about Varun and Diljit? What made you think of them?
So Diljit, I mean, it was always them. It was just I don't know, there was nobody else in mind, because sometimes I think when you're writing, you don't realize who you're thinking of, and it just comes to your mind while you're writing. So it just came to mind. There was no other option for any of them.
Yeah. And how was your dad's reaction to the film and the final product?
So right now, currently, the reactions are still going on in my house. There are a lot of waterworks happening. So my father was weeping through most of the movie. But you know, he was. I'm going to share this. I didn't think I would, but I will. He was weeping at certain points that I didn't think he would weep at. But I realized that you know, there's a scene of Angad telling Sunny Sir that he's been selected for the army. The son, his son. And my dad was weeping throughout that, because it reminded him of when Deepak Chacha had brought the letter to Dadi and Dada and said, I've been selected in the Air Force. Then Sunny Sir picking up the coffin of his son reminded him of how Dadaji and him had cremated and taken the coffin of Deepak Chacha. So we lost him to a MiG-21 crash when he was 30 years old. He was not even 30. So I forgot for a moment that I was actually showing the film to not only my father, but also to somebody who was an armed forces family. So, you know, his emotion and his reaction became all that more important to me, because I realized that this is the same person that I was making the film for. I've made this film for the armed forces, for their families, and I realized that my father is an extension of that. So the whole dynamic of showing him the film actually changed, and I was just so happy that he was so emotional and so happy, and he's so proud, and that makes me the happiest person on earth.
Yeah. So also now you announced Border 3, and you're doing 3 more war films with T-Series.
Yes.
So do you think there are different ways to say a film in this genre? Because they can be like, you feel a genre fatigue for the audience also. So is it a task like to present the stories in a different manner? Because
so, you know, this was 4 battles that we've shown. So obviously there'll be completely different stories. It won't be in the same manner. Like if you see Paltan, the film that Dad made, that was a skirmish. It was not even a war.
Yeah.
It was not even a battle. It was a skirmish between India China of 67.
Okay.
So there are different ways of portraying a war film. It doesn't have to be an entire war. It doesn't have to be. It can be one battle. It can be two battles. It could be a biopic of a certain person. So that all the films that we're making now are different formats of the war genre.
Yeah.
Of course, Border 3 is something, to be very honest, that was not. It's not a as much as people will not believe it, but it's not something we've just decided. This was actually sworn in and written in and decided on about 2 years ago with Bhushanji. So that was actually already on the cards, and we already knew. So it's actually already in works. So we're already creatively working on it, and so are we on the other three. So yeah. So there are different parts of the war genre, but you'll watch it. There are different ways of storytelling, but I'm writing all of them. Yes.
That's all from my side. Thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for your time,
much.
Nidhi.
Thank you.
Lovely
Thank you.
talking to you.
Same here.